The American Constitution was not written to protect criminals. It was written to protect the government from becoming criminals. Never trust a preacher with more than 2 suits. It's the suppression of the word that gives it the power, the violence, the viciousness. Life is a 4-letter word. If Jesus had been killed 20 years ago, Catholic school children would be wearing little electric chairs around their necks instead of crosses. Marijuana will be legal someday, because the many law students who now smoke pot will someday become congressmen and legalize it in order to protect themselves. There are no dirty words, only dirty minds. I've been accused of bad taste, and I'll go down to my grave accused of it, and always by the same people, the ones who eat in restaurants that reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. Satire is tragedy plus time. What is truth today may be a damn lie next week. Miami Beach is where neon goes to die. Even if you are Catholic, if you live in New York you're Jewish. If you live in Butte, Montana, you are going to be Goyish even if you are Jewish. If you believe there is a God that made your body, and yet you think that you can do anything with that body that's dirty, then the fault lies with the manufacturer. My mother-in-law broke up my marriage. My wife came home from work one day and found me in bed with her. When homosexuals were repressed, you got Tennessee Williams. Today's tolerance got you Hilton Perez. That's where the conflict starts. We all want for a wife a combination Sunday school teacher and a $500 a night hooker. Once you sleep on feathers you can't go back to sleeping on the floor. Every day people are straying away from the church and going back to God. Freedom of speech is a two-way street, man. You have the right to say whatever you want, and the boss has a right to tell the police to arrest you. Once you take away the struggle for food, clothing and shelter, work is the one 4-letter word that offends everyone. If you live in New York, even if you're Catholic, you're Jewish. If I just stuck to pot I might have found out what a drag being an aging hipster actually was. If you can take the hot lead enema, then you can cast the first stone. You know there's no crooked politicians. There's never a lie because there is never any truth. There's a lot of money in wars, except in the war on poverty. Can't make any bread helping the poor. There is only what is and that's it. What should be is a dirty lie. I am influenced by every second of my waking hour. I've talked to biblical cats and Neanderthals who've been here since day one. No one here has even seen the big boss. Ever. I'm not a comedian. I'm Lenny Bruce. Let me tell you the truth. The truth is what is. And what should be is a fantasy, a terrible, terrible lie that someone gave the people long ago. Every group needs a comedian. A comic who is politically incorrect at the Berkeley campus might slay them at a Klan rally. If I get busted in New York, the freest city in the world, that will be the end of my career. Anyone who does anything for pleasure to indulge his selfish soul will surely burn in hell. Faith is to the human what sand is to the ostrich. You put a guy on a desert island, he'll do it to mud, a chicken, a barrel, anything, a knot hole. I tried the religion scam in Miami, so I know how hard that gig is. But, if you can get it to work, starting your own religion is a license to print money. If something about the human body disgusts you, the fault lies with the manufacturer. The only honest art form is laughter, comedy. You can't fake it. I think it's about time we gave up religion and got back to God. Alright, let's admit it, we Jews killed Christ, but it was only for 3 days. Every tribe needs a good front man to sell the program. Who better to convince the Middle East to give up the oil than a brown man with a Muslim name? There's always a downside with any freedom. It's not just homosexual freedom, but any sexual freedom comes at a price, and that is usually art. If there was absolute freedom, people would run over babies and charge admission. I don't want a sharp chick who quotes Kerouac. I just want to hear my old lady say, "Get up and fix the toilet, it's still making noise." Anyone who has 2 shirts when someone has none is not a Christian. I want to perform an unnatural act. Communism is just one big telephone company. I was surprised when Nixon passed the test and showed up in heaven, but I guess Hitler threw off the curve for our century. What you end up with is outrageousness without the laugh. Comedy is electroshock therapy. All my humor is based upon destruction and despair. Thanks for watching. Waiting for the next video. Like, comment, and subscribe.